goes back to 1976. Geoff Small was a father of two who ran Sheila's newsagent in Westmead Road in Sutton, Surrey.
How's the wife and kids?
All right, they're fine, thank you.
The business used to be my grandparents', and when they retired, my father took over the shop.
How's your job and everything?
Nah, it's going to be dodgy.
He worked very hard and built it up.
I'll see you later on, yeah?
He was very popular. He used to say that working in the shop was like going on stage. Even if he felt rough or he was tired or had a headache, he always used to go out there with a smile. He had a job to do, and he was a person's person, definitely. My father used to get up early in the morning because the papers would be delivered to the shop. All his friends and all the people that lived locally knew that he had his routine. They would know what time the shop would open, what time the shop would shut.
Someone must have gone in through the side gate of the shop. From a later statement, we know he looked a bit like this. He was then in his mid-40s and fairly small.
We used to live where the shop was, but we just moved away. We wanted to have a separate home away from the shop premises so that we could feel like we had somewhere to escape to and be a proper family together. And he achieved that. But in fact, we'd only been there a month, so he really didn't live to appreciate it, which was very sad.
Not many people knew they'd moved out of the shop, nor that while the shop had an alarm system, it didn't protect the rooms at the back. The killer took Geoff's wallet and a holdall containing the takings from the shop.
He did have a couple of regular customers that were coming off night shifts and things, and although he wasn't really open, he always used to let them in and serve them.
Morning.
Good morning.
He was wearing a check jacket and dark trousers, and the witness said he was slim and only 5'5".
He had a couple of people that used to come in and help him mark up the papers for the paper rounds, so they used to be in the shop very early.
Thank you, everyone.
These were left behind. I found them on the cooker hood.
OK, good.
Whoever got in through the window had unusually small feet, size 6.
I still feel very angry after 26 years that somebody has murdered my father and taken his life away. It would be nice for him to see his children grown up with their own children. You know, I wonder, would he be proud of me? I mean, I've done nothing special, but, you know, would he be proud of me the way I've turned out and the way my brother's turned out? And we'll never know.
Damien, obviously the family have been living with this throughout, but why have you suddenly returned to it with such energy and such resources?
Well, we've received significant new information that we've been working on for some months now. Yes, it's 26 years later, but 26 years down the line we haven't closed the books, and we're determined to achieve justice for the small family.
What sort of information have you got?
Well, for operational reasons I can't disclose this at the moment, but suffice it to say that we're working on significant leads at the moment.
The description of the guy who was coming out of the side gate beside the shop, and that's presumably the killer, is actually a pretty good one. He's fairly small, 5'6", very small shoes, 6 foot. What? Just remind us whatever else you know about him.
Well, he was 5'5", 5'6" tall, white. He had dark frizzy hair. He was wearing a fawn jacket with brown checks on it. And significantly, a foot impression was left at the scene, which was a size 6, which at the time was very significant and still is now. It represented 2.5% of the male adult population.
Yes,
so quite significant.
He'd be what? He'd be in his early 70s now, presumably.
That's right, yes. He was about 45 years of age at the time.
And the sort of guy he was, it was intriguing watching that reconstruction, how he got in. Was he a burglar? How did he know how to get into the premises like that?
Well, clearly he was very versed in breaking into this shop. Perhaps the individual concerned was a very experienced burglar.
It was thought at the time, and there was press publicity at the time, saying whoever did it was a professional assassin. Was he all that professional? If you looked at the reconstruction, it looked like the first few shots missed.
Certainly viewed at the time as being a professional contract killing. We take a different view 26 years later. Two shots that were fired, the first two shots completely missed.
Really quite close range?
Absolutely, yes. So clearly not the professional hit that was first thought.
Now, you've brought this weapon here, which is a Hungarian P-37, that was issued to German soldiers during the Second World War. Not very common.
No.
You releasing this information tonight because a gun like this, or something like this, you think is the one that was responsible for the murder, and is still outstanding?
It's a .32 inch caliber, or a 7.65mm caliber. It's one of could have been one of 6 automatic pistols, that being the most likely one. What I'd appeal for is where's that gun now? I'd like to know the whereabouts of that gun, because clearly that's significant information.
I mean, what was the motive for this?
Well, a motive explored at the time and subsequently that was that Mr. Small had an affair. I'm keeping an open mind as to the motive. But clearly this was a contract killing. I'd appeal to anyone who could tell me the name of the killer and perhaps the man or woman that contracted this killing.
Well, it is curious, but Crimewatch really has had extraordinary success with these cold cases, sometimes going back even further than this one. So let's crack this one. Call here or call the incident room on 020 8649 1550.